Welcome, everybody. It is the Pure Driving School European Sprint Series. It's a bit of a mouthful. Oh, we missed the first race, but we're here now. So that's the main thing. Just to give you an idea of what's going down, it is... Well, how else should I put it? It is essentially reverse oval. Reverse oval with what can only be described as a clear sky. 4 kilometers in length, 2,222 meters above sea level. Sorry to mix that one up. Track temperature of a very, very paltry 22 degrees Celsius, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 kilometer westerly wind at 9 o'clock in the morning. And we actually have more than one. We're both wrong, Craig. We have more than one LMP1 out there.
Yeah, get in, Rob. Get in here, everyone. Someone actually told me like 4 LMP1s, and I was like, oh, well, that ruins all the plans I had for the start of the race. I was gonna congratulate the winner right away, but no, we have more. I think we have 7 LMP2s? No, 8 LMP2s, and a nice selection of GT3 Class 3, as it's called in the game, but the GT3s. So very tricky track. Indianapolis is very tricky. Why is it tricky? Well, look around. Do you see any brake markers? Do you see any indicators where you could hit your lines? Not
no,
really. I remember IMSA last year. It was last year. The LMP2s having a bit of an issue with the slow stuff. Noticeably, the final few corners before getting on the oval to turn 8, 9, 10. They had trouble with those slower corners. Personally, my biggest gripe, it's not a oh, I have to like get my money back or yeah, I'd like an updated version. Yeah, I'd like the new version with the
final chicane
at the end of the track. Yeah, so it's still an interesting racetrack. Do not get me wrong, it's still an interesting racetrack, but like I said, there's not a lot of markers that you've got to go for in terms of braking. So a lot of it is hope for the best. Very flat as well. Another thing, it's probably a staple of a what they now call rovals in America. It's very flat out there. So LMP1s are going around doing their laps, doing their thing. Jan Korbs is out there. Sam Blackwood is out there. Jean-Christophe Ferrer is just coming around for their second lap in the Porsche. Fun fact, when I last did this series, when I last did this track, when it was the cursed name that we're not allowed to say, well, we probably are allowed to say, but
the iRacing Le Mans series.
Yeah, you said it anyway. Porsche was the car to beat because the Audi can only use low downforce, and low downforce around here was horrible. But Sam Blackwood with that pole of 1:10.151 as Jan Korbs. He's coming around the start-finish line right now, and it's weird. We're going anti-clock. We're going clockwise on an oval. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
There. It's just an oval. It can't harm you. No, wait, it's a roval. It can harm you actually, simply because it is a roval. And by the very,
can harm.
Yeah, well, yeah, by its very nature, it's also, it's just, my displeasure for rovals is palpable.
Yeah, there. It's all right. It's all right. They can't hurt you. It can't hurt you. There's no roval in England or Ireland.
You see, Indy only gets away with it because of the massive, like, what's it called? Its inroad is actually big enough to allow it to have a very nice inroad, and it actually has more than just, what's it called? A 180 and a 180 as a horseshoe.
I'm with you, yeah. It's actually, in terms of rovals in America, it is actually one of the more complicated, or complex, really.
Yeah, because
rovals.
Because you turn left and right sometimes. Instead of just two right turn, well, a left turn, two right turns, a left turn, and that's it.
Yeah, I understand the whole thing. Charlotte's the only roval. But I think it's safe to say everyone, when they think of a road course inside an oval now, just think roval. I know that like they have the trademark, but I think if you were to call they call it a road course, but I think the fans would just call it a roval just for simplicity's sake. You know, if you say Daytona Roval, you know what you're looking at. You say Indy Roval, you get an idea. Kansas Roval, Texas Roval, hey, even New Hampshire Roval, despite it's a road course outside the oval. So. Yeah, it's very weird. I must admit, it is very weird. I think everyone's done their laps.
But majority of them have at this point, yeah.
Well, Kevin Le Mans.
Yeah.
Kevin Le Mans. Sorry, Kevin Le Mans.
Kevin Lemans.
No, Kevin Le Mans.
He's got two E's. It can't be in Le Mans.
Oh, come on. Let me have this one.
No. I get the names wrong, so you don't have to. Don't try it at home, kids.
Okay, Kevin Le Mans just said a 1:25.561. I think that might be the last car out on track. It is. So let's go over the results. 3 LMP1s did set a lap time. I'll let you go over them, Rob.
So it's Jan Korbs with a 1:08.608. So judging by my reckoning, with a 1:10, it'll be about 50 laps on this inroad for the LMP1s. If it's an hour-long race, then we get to Sam Blackwood with a 1:10.046. Jean-Christophe Ferrer with a 1:11.585. Garcia with a 1:15.617. is P1 for LMP2. Metzeler with a 1:16.050 is second. Marchand in third with a 1:16.166. Mala with a 1:16.419 in fourth. Gehrig with a 1:17.099 in fifth. In sixth is Richard with a 1:17.134. Clovar with a 1:17.385 in seventh. In eighth is Calvin Murr with a 1:19.686, and he is last in that line of LMP2s. In first for the GTEs, it is Zhang with a 1:22.027, Lima with a 1:22.151, following up in third, Friere with a 1:22.302. Oh, that's a name that I can't pronounce. The Car 24 in 1:22.411 territory in fourth. Alexander II with a 1:22.931 in fifth. Miyoto with a 1:23.412 in a Ferrari. I really wanted to make a Spinotto joke, but, be professional. Silva in 7th place with a 124.326. And finally, we get to the final 3. Almeida with a 125.418, Lehmans with a 125.562, and Pedersen with a 126.724, running off those that did qualify. Behind them, I think, is Joanna Almeida, Anastasios. Oh dear lord, that last name. Oh no, wait, he qualified. Ignore me then.
Anastasios Kalatzis. Daryl Henry, Casper Wald, Corey McDonald, all non-qualified for the GTEs, and Jon Inge Nords, a non-qualifier for the LMP1s. 53 laps is the current prediction. Just by going off, Jan Cole's 1 minute 8 second time, so I think Rob's idea of 50 laps might be right. Probably 51. We'll wait and see. Going to be interesting around.
It's going to be a full pace lap as well, so we have time to squeeze in something. We have time to squeeze in some motorsport news. FP2 was today, and
FP1
and FP1. Ironically enough, it seems that the Mercedes issues are actually getting more and more pronounced. I'm waiting for the inevitable. They just blitz the race and then be like, we found it so difficult today. Our rivals are very fast.
Well, to be fair, AWS did the usual prediction of qualifying from practice 2, like they always do. And it had Hamilton pole. I know. 3 tenths slower in practice, had Hamilton coming out on pole. Despite that was McLaren. Those times that Norris and Ricciardo set were McLaren's first low-fuel, soft tyre runs in that car. They decided not to do any time in pre-season practice with that type of setup. That was the first time they went balls to the walls qualifying sprint, and that's all. If that's all they have, kind of encouraging. But we wait and see. Anything can happen in qualifying tomorrow. Anything can happen in race day. So maybe the Red Bulls are still good. They were really good in those final sections. Ferrari was a bit of a surprise. They were pretty quick actually in the first few sections. So we may get Ferrari, just maybe not at the front, but I think they'll be competitive this season.
Well, that's the hope. I mean, every Ferrari diehard fan, including me, wants them to come back to the front. But I mean,
well, every McLaren diehard fan, not really diehard, but that's me, wants them to come back to the front. So McLaren Ferrari rivalry renewed? Yes, please. Let's do it again, Rob.
Yeah, but I mean, we can't have another Nigel Stepney.
We're not. What we are going to have, though, is another Raidillon TV. The only corner you need. Ha-ha! What a segue. Pure Driving School European Sprint Series at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the road course, of course. Jan Corbs is going to take him away. The number 1 car for the RR Barussi Esports versus the OCM of Sam Blackwood. And then, of course, Jan-Christophe Ferrer and Jon Inge Nords. But these guys are going to take them away around the banking. It's going to be a long wait around the banking. We'll keep an eye on a couple corners around here, but our main battle, of course, will be in the LMP2s. Wait to see what happens on the first corner there, and the LMP1s. Pace car is in, that long run for the pace car. We wait for the green, and there goes Jan Corbs. Just going to take him away quite comfortably, and it does look like the US Grand Prix in 2005 right here, with the gaps and the cars that just going away. The LMP1s, as you can see, called Blackwood, Ferrer, Ingalls, but in the LMP2s, Vincent Barjon has jumped everybody, trying to get a good run here, but Tony Garcia, he's side by side with Garcia. Barjon's going to take the inside, though. Barjon's going to make 2 places. There is a couple spinners, synchronized spinning in the back of the field, and that is Richard. That looks like Richard. Mallet. A couple other cars as well, and the GTEs are coming up to them, and the GTEs are in the wall. Everybody, there's chaos everywhere. That looks to me, who was that Porsche? That was Lima. Lima off. I think another one's off as well. McDonald's off. Murs got loads of damage in the LMP2. We got a couple of a GT. That's Silver and Wold out as well. What is going on?
Oh, GTs were trying to avoid the fact that there was an LMP2 in the middle of the track, and then in doing so, they clambered into the LMP2s that were sat there waiting for the GTEs to go by. So I think there's been a lot of kill right about there.
Yeah, Damien Mallett's just decided in the LMP2 decided, you know what, I don't want any part of this. I think he had another moment. Yeah, he had another off. He had another off and decided, I'm just going to tow. So Mallett's out of the race. So they'll come across the line. It looks like Garcia Barjon is going to be the 1 and 2 with Melstar in third. And my phone is going off!
Matthias Raidillon running in P1 for GTE. And by the way, remember, do you want to see something funny? Top split. But I mean, the fact that he was able to avoid that accident, I mean, he deserves second place just on merit.
Well, Rob, just remember, iRating is not an indication of skill. Just remember that. Top split is never the safest. Just saying that.
Here he goes again with... Oh, look at me, I've got statistics.
How is that a statistic?
I don't even know.
That is sadistic, if you ask me.
It's statistic. A statistic.
No,
I thought I said sadistic. I thought they were making fun of me, and I was like, no. I was like, I said statistic.
Well, so we're now down to 5. No, sorry, we're down to 6 LMP2s, but I don't see where number 6 is. Oh, it's Joe Richard trying to get around the GT3s. He's had a little bit of a moment.
GT3s?
GTEs. Yeah, sorry. I'm in Sebring mode. You can tell.
Well, I think most people are at this stage.
Well, we do have a little battle here. We have De Jong, Laurent De Jong, in a battle with Anastasius, and I'm just saying Anastasius might be punching above their weight with the iRating. yeah, just punching a little bit above the weight, but doing good. In fact, taking that Porsche into P2. Oh, a little bit of a slide. It's not a Porsche Cup race tonight, by the way. 2 Porsches lead the way. There's a Corvette, a Ferrari. You think the Ferrari with a top-end speed would be the weapon of choice around here for the GTEs? Not really. Not really. The Porsche is just showing their worth in the technical section in the road course. So, working very well for them. As expected, the LMP2s have split. Jan Korbs is trying to get away from Sam Blackwood. You've got Farah and Norles in a battle themselves at the back of the LMP2 field. So, yeah, let's keep our eyes on this GTE battle, though, between Anastasius and De Jong. I really want to say that last name, but I cannot. That Z is just throwing me off.
Kaleidzidis. There you go. I think that's Kaleidzidis, yeah. I think I got it right.
Okay, Kaleidzidis. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Remember, there's 4 LMP1s out there today. 2 Audis, 2 Porsches. As expected, the Audis are just using that low downforce and just blowing away. But we're into traffic now. And you think, well, the oval's not too bad. The oval's not too bad. The oval not too bad. Sam Black had to go in the middle of 3 wide. Still not too bad, though. No, he's okay. He lives despite another day. But the road course does have wide corners, but they're not wide that something like this could go around a car. Say, turn 6. And, oh, look, there's a car, GTE that's just gone off in front of Korbs. That's Darrell Henry. And that's Henry just almost holding up Korbs there, losing a bit of time. Yeah, these corners are quite wide. You think that'd be good for multi-class racing. What it is, but oh, look at Korbs. He gets held up now from McDonald's. So, and now everyone's getting held up. Hello. Let's have a bit of a train right here. Well, I say a bit of a train. It's like the Suez Canal right now, but there is no large freighter. We're going to go 4 wide? No. Korbs couldn't find a way through. And Blackwood will take the lead of the LMP1s. Just by Korbs having perhaps the worst luck in that first section of lap traffic. That's probably the worst part of the track to hit lap traffic, I think.
Yeah, well, they were going too wide. They were in their own race. But he also took the very unfortunate decision to stick behind the Corvette until it got by, not realizing that back straight is essentially you know, it's quite a big wide track back straight, so he could have used it all, but he didn't. So
It's a little bit dusty on the inside, on the outside though. Think I wouldn't say Sebring. Think like Le Mans, just without the bumps. All that is the car just locking up in front of Corbs, and that was Lehman's, and I think Lehman's just made contact with Alexander. Yeah, I think he did. Yes, definitely made contact. And oh no, locks up, and then yeah, I think that's a little bit of could be curiosity, enthusiasm music there, because both drivers could have avoided that.
Yeah.
One of those moves where, yeah, the driver who's locked up, you know, he's gone wide, but he's keeping to his line, and the guy that's on the inside could have made it. Now, Rob, I've just looked at Joe Richards' livery. What on earth is that? Is that a Castrol? What is that? What is that? A rusted Virgin? It's a Castrol GTX. So is it like the Toyota, the old Toyota Castrol livery, but rusted over on an LMP2? What's on earth?
I have no idea what that is, but I hate it already.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. To quote your lines, I don't like it at all.
At all, no. I do not like that.
Got Alexander towed, by the way. He was not happy, as you'd expect. It took a while to tow, but he has less. So I think that's 3 retirements now in the race. Yes. 3 retirements going on. Yeah, not a lot happening at the moment, as you'd expect. There's a little battle for P7 in the GTEs. It's that Jonah Almeida versus Darrell Henry. I think Henry started from the pits. He did indeed, well, not the pits, sorry. So at the back of the field, did not set a lap time, and just having the better time around the track compared to Joanna. Just finding the throttle, finding better time to get around the corner, finding the speed more importantly. And we missed Ferrer went off as well. Jon Christoph Ferrer. He's did he set an early pit stop? It's very weird. Yeah, he's got massive damage in the back of that car. No idea what happened to him. That is a lot of damage on the rear. I'm going to try and look. Oh, he made contact with a GT3. Oh. Made contact with a GT3 coming out of coming out of turn 11 onto the oval. The GTE there having a little bit of a slide, and well, just waited too late to hit the brakes. Hit them, spun around, and that was it.
Sam Blackwood is still battling to retain the lead from Jan Corbs, by the way. Coming through the S's onto... Oh, there's 3 sets of S's, and then it's on to the banked curve. They see it there now. Now remember, back in day, this was the most contentious part of the track for one particular company called Michelin. Funny enough, they're actually running Michelin tires right about now. So hi Michelin. Back in 2005, as you were referencing before, the NMP1 field was almost like, when they started, it was almost like the F1 start of 2005, when we were, well, when I say treated, I more so say we were treated to the horror of a 6-car race and what that would have looked like. And I remember that actually quite distinctively.
I remember it. I remember it as well. And I loved watching it because I'm a fan of how TV broadcasts things, you know, and how they bring you stuff. And it was just the fact that ITV basically just went, right, Martin, James, stay in the booth. We're going to tell you when our camera crew, because the camera crew was like, get out of the studio and let's find everybody. Let's get Ted. Ted, don't go in the pit lane. Ted, you're coming out, you're finding people. They were literally finding everybody to talk to, whether it be the guy in the 7th row of the grandstand, to Bernie, you know, I remember the interview with Jensen, to the point that they knew nothing was going on. they cut from the feed, the FOM feed, to literally show their camera walking with Jensen Button and talking to him. Everybody wanted a word with everybody. There was more about what was happening off the track, what was on the track. It was fantastic that day.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you had paid good money to see that, I think you would have been just a very little bit, just teensy little bit annoyed over the fact that your lovely race is essentially now just not a race at all.
No, I also think to myself there was reports of debris on the front stretch. Well, that was because, well, lo and behold, everyone was so mad they were throwing their concessions onto the track, which would have been hilarious because there was only 6 cars. They could have run out and picked up stuff. Nowadays, if there was debris on the track, they would have called a safety car or a full course or a virtual safety car. And could you imagine that if they just had the cars going slowly? Would have been a prime target for those drivers. It just would have. Sorry. This looks a little bit sketchy. Is Yankov's going to try and make it 3 wide? He thought about it, still thinking about it, decides against it, and waits to get around Metzler. But yeah, can you imagine if they had to call a safety car because of the debris on the track?
That would have been the worst safety car, I think, in the entire race, if I'm going to be honest.
There was never a safety car.
Yeah, but if there would have been a safety car.
Fun fact, do you know that was the first F1 race where 100% of the starting field finished? Do you want to know what the second race was?
What?
Valencia. First year of the 3 new teams in Valencia. I think it was the second year at Valencia was the second race where 100% of the field finished the race. So that also
Wait, I
meant
thought they were all like DNF.
No, they were DNS.
Yeah, but
they didn't start, did they? No, they didn't take the start, did they?
Yeah, but that technically isn't.
No,
that technically isn't going to be like, you know. It technically isn't. I mean, that's like saying, oh, I'll just classify them. Their names are down. It means they're there. But where do they go? I have no idea.
They go to the DNS. Let me right. Wikipedia never lies. Right? Everyone knows this. Wikipedia never lies. All cars, apart from the 6 Bridgestone drivers, classified as DNS.
Yeah.
Did not start.
Keyword. They're classified. What else is under classification? Did not finish. DQ. A time.
Right,
behind leader.
All right, but I'm still sticking to it. It was the first race ever where all the drivers that took the start finished, and I'm gonna stick by that.
Okay,
like I said.
okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it's not that hard when you have 6 drivers.
Oh no, totally.
But when you have, you know, a full grid, you know, the full grid is going to be much harder to have everybody finish. Also, I'm pretty sure.
No.
I'm pretty sure since then there's been a few races where everybody has finished.
No, there is. And I'm trying to find it because I'm thinking it might be over 2008, 2009. Yeah, was it 2009? No, it was. Might be. Yeah, it was 2009. I want to say. No, I'll find it. I think it was later, but I do remember it was with the new teams. There you go. It was the 2011 European Grand Prix at Valencia. Was the second time every driver finished a race, which meant that Narain Carter-Kane became the first driver ever to finish 24th.
Fair
Can you
enough.
remember that? Can you remember that time when there were 24 cars on the grid?
I remember when there was a threat that you couldn't actually do the race because you were qualifying so slow.
Yeah. While we've been talking about this, I've been watching this battle between Blackwood and Corbs, and just going around the lap traffic is very scary. But they're maintaining. They are maintaining their positions. Joe Richard's still a lap down, but he is setting some decent times. There's not a lot happening at the moment, in all due fairness. In fact, the closest battle is the battle at the front of the LMP1s, and that's all she wrote.
Now,
so, I mean, go on.
Here's a question, right? Do you know the ship that's blocking the Suez Canal right now?
The Evergreen?
Yes. Yeah, the Evergreen. Imagine. Now, this might be logistical. Where is motor sports? Perfect. I would imagine that they would have to ship. It would be easy because remember the DHL ad that they had. With what's it called? With F1, where they're like, oh yeah, this is how we ship stuff.
Yeah, it was Ferrari, wasn't it?
Yeah. Imagine if the Suez Canal is still blocked.
Okay, Kimmy, you have to deliver the package for what? We have a package for what?
Oh dear.
Kimi Räikkönen, always the deliverer of memes. Because they're not a lot going on. You see the timings. Just weird seeing that timing tower with just 4 LMP1s. But that's the way it goes. We are looking at 51 laps at the moment, by the way, Rob. 50.05 is the timer. So, okay, maybe 50. Let's just call it 50. I can't believe Rob was right again. Right again, Rob.
What do you mean?
There's going to be 50 laps, like you said. I don't want to admit you were right.
Almost as if I'm more accurate than a computer.
Whoa.
Don't get
too far ahead of myself. I do like, though, how Corbs are taking... how literally, because of the way this track is seldom used, the drivers are taking different boost strategies. Blackwood and Corbs just taking a different... Oh, God, Corbs hit the curb. And these curbs aren't flat. They are a little bit ridged. Ridged? You know what I mean? They have got a little lip on them. So if you do go over them, you are risking a little bit of damage, a little bit of upsetting the apple cart, per se. But they are finding different... I don't know if it's different boost strategy. Maybe Blackwood saving a lot of his just for, the main straights, while Corbs is just mix and matching. We see our first bookmark of the day as Amadea. Oh no! Corbs is trying to get around, and Amadea just not holding on. A little bit of a tap. I don't think that would be too much to worry about. No damage, but did hold up Corbs, and Corbs is now 2 seconds behind Blackwood. I wonder if he'll get that time back. It'll be quite interesting to see if he can fight back and get those 2 seconds back. He has been on average, faster than Blackwood, feels like. So, who knows? And in fact, actually, Blackwood getting held up coming into turn 8. So, yeah, it might be a situation like that.
I'm still trying to figure out. I'm sorry for this, for the tangent, but I'm still trying to figure out how that boat managed to get stuck in the Suez Canal.
Well, I also heard that had wind been a certain number that day, it would have been refused entry.
Wait, say again.
It was that big. If the wind was a certain speed in knots,
yeah,
they would have refused that to go through.
Oh yeah, because it would have just drifted, and I guarantee you the wind was probably that.
And probably it was under, and then as they were in, it probably raised up. But yeah, everyone was laughing at how the owners of the boat apologized profusely, and I'm thinking to myself, I think I'm not saying anything. The owners are Japanese, okay? If you know anything about Japan and delays on the public service, you will know they do not take it lightly. Like, if you're a second late, it's an apology. You know, so they know, and this is not a good look for them, full stop. But like for delays, they are really on point with it. Which is why they've got such a good train network and stuff around there. So,
where is? I'm just trying to fact check. I thought it's a Taiwanese. It's operated by the Taiwanese company Evergreen Marine, according to the BBC.
Must have been the I could have sworn I heard that the owners were Japanese.
It might have been the owners themselves that are Japanese, but
yeah.
Yeah, I find it funny that this could potentially delay the boys in F1 if they try and have to drive through that and just be like,
oh yeah, forgot about that. Well, yeah, cars are already having boats are already having to go down the Cape of Hope, or Good Hope, is it?
Cape of Good Hope.
Cape of Good Hope down South Africa. Which is not a good.
It adds about 10 or 12 days to your journey. You have to go around
8 to 12 days, I heard. Yeah, 8 days, I heard, depending on the size of the ship.
Which is a bit of a yikes.
Yeah, just a bit of a yikes. Can you imagine being told that? Yeah, good news, guys. We're getting going. Bad news, just hope you don't have any plans for a week or two. But also, $9 billion a day is lost because of that Suez Canal blockage.
Imagine having to tell your boss that. Sorry, boss, I just lost $6 billion. Oh my crikey. Today. Oh my crikey.
Yeah, can you imagine saying that a day? Absolutely insane. A little bit of traffic. You're seeing the GTEs go around. And Blackwood and Yancorp still battling. Blackwood's had the worst of traffic. Corps has had the better of traffic. Corps had a lot more boost as they come across the start-finish line. Corps is overtaking Blackwood. As you're seeing a battle there with Kaladitz and June also having a change. So the lead in the GTEs and the lead in the LMP1s have changed. The
GTE temporarily went first place and then yielded first place. I mean, this is what happened.
I think that's a slowdown.
For what?
No slowdown. Okay. Very weird.
Oh my crikey.
Crikey. Yeah. That was a bit of a hope for the best.
Sam Blackwood's got a lot of damage to that front. Oh, well, then they say a lot of damage. He's got a bit of damage to the front left.
Where's he got that from?
I have no idea, but I knew there was something off about that Audi.
Ooh,
and then I looked at the front left.
I did see it. It was
into the pits he goes.
20. Yeah, lap 20. Lap 20 coming out of turn 11. The GTE of Pedersen not picking a lane. And Blackwood goes, I'm going to go on the inside. And Pedersen's like, but I'm going back there for some unknown reason. And Pedersen catches him out. Oh, the car had a little bit of a slide. But yeah, the car was just going right when Blackwood was there. So Blackwood into the pits. Probably got 10 seconds of repairs, and he's missed his pit box. Probably about 10 seconds of repairs to that front, I would have thought.
I mean, he can take them. the car that was behind him, which is John Inga Nordenus, was a minute behind him as a gap. So it's this. Oh, I thought Anastasius was about to go on the inside again, but no, he's actually. I'm pretty yeah, he's got the lead, but I'm pretty sure he's not actually meant to be 900 iRacing. I am pretty sure this man has driven iRacings before.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to look at this, if I was brutally honest. I thought to myself, well, this can't be right, surely. Might be right. You never know. I'm sorry, I just stopped because I was just focused. I'm going to have to look at this because we are now peak bottom split. Because remember bottom split searching for the person who had one iRating during the Daytona 24?
Did they find somebody with one iRating?
Somebody in the race on the bottom split of the first time slot in the Daytona 24 had one iRating.
And I guarantee you, they were just like, ha 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 ha.
Well, this person hasn't raced. This is a 10-year account, by the way. Yeah, this is a 10-year account and hasn't raced for. Well, didn't race for 6 years, and then after was a 2K driver. So yeah, you can say that really just the iRating is probably just down to some bad luck because the pace right now is really good in that Porsche. So no bad about it. Well, I mean, they're leading the race and they've been doing some great times. They have made up 3 positions. They started 4th, but still doing really well. And Sam Blackwood did come out, by the way. I did not see how long his pit stop took.
His pit stop took in total 48 seconds from pit entry to pit exit.
He's still got that damage. He's still got that damage.
He hasn't fixed it then.
Very interesting. Well, we'll see what his times are like because if there's... Oh. Yeah, he's lost 2 seconds. He just did a 1:13.5. I don't know if that was with traffic or without. That was his first lap. After the first proper lap after the damage, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Very interesting, but he's now 46 seconds behind Jan Korbs, who hasn't pitted yet. We're coming up to the half an hour mark, plus 1 minute. Lap 25 of a possible 50 going around here at the moment with Jan Korbs in the lead. But yeah, nice little battle brewing in the GTEs, if I don't say so myself.
And it is a battle for the lead, so... and it is the only battle brewing at the moment because, unfortunately, the battle between Sam Blackwood and Jan Korbs is not happening because, well, they're 45 seconds away from each other. So let me see. Let me try and fill the gap with some more motorsport talk.
I mean, I've been told I have to check out MotoGP this year.
Ew.
Apparently it's really good. Although I have also just heard that SpaceX SN11 was scrubbed, so I'm very upset. So there was going to be a test flight today and it was scrubbed, so I'm very upset. But no, MotoGP's back this week. To be fair, I can't remember the last time there was such a bumper weekend of motorsport going on. Because you've got, F1's back, which also means F2's back this weekend. And then you add on to that no F3. A bit of a shame, but the new format could be interesting to keep our eyes on. MotoGP, as we were saying, so that also would mean Moto2 and Moto3. Which, by the way, if you thought how, the FIA do an F1 weekend where you have, the F2 or F3 and then the Porsche Super Cup, on a Sunday. I think that's what makes MotoGP really good because they originated it with just how streamlined everything is. Moto 3, Moto 2, right into MotoGP, and they don't miss a beat. There's no stoppage in production. It's almost like you're watching a rallycross event where you're going seamlessly into like Rallycross 2 into the Rallycross series. They literally, it's almost like imagine if Sky never went off air between F2, F3, and the F1 on a Sunday. That's how seamless it is between the three series MotoGP.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's really good because like you'll start the Moto 3 and they'll be there and they'll finish the race and you'll have the analysis people talking on about what happened. They'll get on the podium, they'll do the podium, yay, great, and they'll do a little bit more talking about what happened in the race. And then they'll start talking about the Moto 2 because the Moto 2 will be starting to grid up at that time. There's no like long wait period. I think it's like a 45-minute wait between last season between F3 and F2. Probably about 20 minutes for Moto 3 and Moto 2. You get a little bit of a bigger gap when it comes to Moto 2 and MotoGP, of course, but everything's so seamless in terms of production. And in some respects, when I watched some of it when we used to have the subscription package to watch it, and I thought to myself, why can't F1 do this? Because this was back when GP2 and F3 weren't the same video package and the same presentations that F1 had, whereas Moto 2 and Moto 3 literally had no difference in their presentation compared to F1. And lo and behold, what happened a couple of seasons ago? The FOM go, yeah, we're going to do that with F2 and F3. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I've been told to give them a try.
Yeah, but why would you?
Well, my late granddad, bless his soul, always said as much as he got me into Formula One, he always said that he preferred the motorbikes because it was proper racing and proper overtakes. And that's true. You know, you don't have to have it. Go on.
What? What do you mean proper overtakes? You get that all the time in normal like car racing.
Yeah, but like, okay, put it like this: in F1, they've had to put DRS, try and work out how to have overtake. You know what I mean? Because they found there was an issue with overtakes. But when it came to MotoGP, you can have overtakes on any corner because the cars are not equal. The bikes, aren't equal. But it's all done on driver skill, and of course you've got a smaller center of gravity, a smaller mass, so it means you've got a lot more space on the track. So a lot different ways, your body weight, you change your lines. So my late granddad did like that. Work colleague told me that there's proper overtakes on any corner today. He was trying to get me back into MotoGP, and I'm like, yeah. But I remember superbikes, and that's the weird. Do you know the difference between the World Superbike and MotoGP?
Mm-hmm.
You know the difference. What's the difference?
No, I have no idea what the difference. I have no idea what the difference is, but I know there is a difference.
So the World Superbikes are basically off-the-shelf bikes, like production bikes. Whereas, not production. But MotoGP are just designed for racing. Like that bike is only a racing bike. You can't buy it off the shelf per se, if you know what I mean. So it's almost like imagining if, to be the comparison, MotoGP would be F1 and World Superbikes would be something akin to a GT, a GT Endurance Championship. Do you know what I mean? Because you could buy those cars off the shelf almost. Okay, not that version, but you could buy that car.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's the equivalent of like what GT circuit or what GT series? It's GT4, is it? GT4 is production cars, and GT3 you could argue is like that as well, because you can buy the damn things. I mean, they're not going to be. exactly. Like they're gonna have a few extra 100 kilos in the car.
Are you saying on fat?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, you could argue that when you get down to it, a GT3 car is something that you can still buy off the shelf. It's going to be very expensive, but some people can. And so
it's like the old it's like what they started saying with LMP3s, how it insists in the car since Daytona, because like it's like an amateur division, it's like a pro-am category, but something like that, isn't it? You could just buy a seat in an LMP3. So hey, can we buy an LMP3? Do we have the money?
No, you cannot buy an LMP3.
Okay, I can put it on the credit card. Do we have a credit card?
It'll be a lot of I imagine there will be a lot of credit lines that would need to be what's the word I'm looking for? Would have to be closed up and approved of before.
You can pay it off. You can pay it off. It's fine.
You sure about that?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Could you pay it off? No. I don't know. I don't know if I like that whole thing with in a high series, the ability to pay for a drive. Do you know, not like a top driver with a paid, who brings a company on board for a team. Like when Stroll got into Williams originally, he did it on the back of his dad's money, who provided like money and sponsor to the team. But like you get these categories now, where it's like you can pay just to get in, like the LMP3s. It's a lot of pro-ams. Kind of does leave me in a weird position because I do like the GTE amateur field in WEC, but that does feel like it's a team with an amateur instead of like a privateer that just comes in for the race, like you would see in like the 24 Hours of Spa.
But you do have privateer teams in GTM.
Yeah, but I'm more like a privateer driver who comes in just for the race. You know what I mean?
I mean, don't a few drivers do that for Le Mans? Whenever that happens.
I think so.
Because I'm pretty sure. What year was it? Your phone's ringing, by the way. From what I can,
you hear that? Okay.
I was able to hear that. Yeah. From what I can remember, if I remember correctly, it's from. Was it like 2 or 3 drivers? Most definitely were privateer drivers, and what's it?
Did I just see a car get sent to the wall?
Did you?
No, I thought Kevin Leemans was almost pushed into the wall, but he just missed it. Yeah, no, there are some privateer drivers. I have no idea who that phone number is, by the way. Well, that's why I left it. There are some privateer drivers, and it's hard because when you get something like Garage 55 or Garage 53, I think is what it is, who always come through with like the technology, the breakthrough technology.
Yeah.
Get invited to Le Mans. Technically, they're doing it for one race, which I don't know if you've seen who's in that garage this year. It's the disabled car once again. I don't know if you're aware of it. Years ago, a quadriplegic. He had a rare disease that ate his skin or something. So he unfortunately lost his arms and his legs, and he got to drive in a team where just using controls via his mouth drove around Le Mans. I don't know if you ever.
I remember reading about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I would not have wanted to do that whatsoever. Simply because that is a lot of mental effort that is required to even begin to even dream of doing that.
But also, on the other hand, like if that's how if that's how he does his day-to-day life, he's probably used to it already. Just a different change in like the the stress of the G-forces and stuff would probably be the only difference. I am curious to see because they've only got 2 drivers signed up. That man, somebody else. And I know that the aim of the car is disability, but specifically people who have lost a limb or something like that. So, when everyone saw that, everyone was like, Billy Monger? But no news from Billy Monger after his... I think he's still recovering after that fantastic charity Ironman triathlon he did. Ooh, that was interesting. De Jong just deciding to fake out Anastasius there. Anastasius going to the pits, and De Jong thinking, yeah, I'm going to go to the pits, and went, nope, no, I'm not. So keep an eye on that. Jan Korv's in the pits as well. Blackwood's not been doing well at the moment. He's been sticking to the 112s. Jan Korv's not exactly having his best time with the traffic, so very long pit lane here. We'll wait to see what happens, because this is the lead we're looking at here. I counted Blackwood at 48 seconds overall in the pits. I'm curious to see what Korbs does. Just got into his pit. Remember, Blackwood also missed his pit box. Oh, Blackwood's going to be held up, though, because it's the car that spun. And that is Jan Kotnik Kovlar. So Korbs is going to... Whoa, that's a big gap. That's a big gap. Are we sure that Blackwood didn't repair? Because Blackwood's only
Blackwood took an extra 4 seconds in the pit box.
That's not 4 seconds.
Yeah, but Blackwood also missed his pit box, so he spent an extra 6 seconds in the pit in the pits.
Wow. All this work and he's going to lose 3 I rating for a P2.
I mean, there's really not much you can do. I mean, there's only 4 races, so what else, can you really, gain?
Safety rating. Anastasius has thorough-putted. The leader of the GTEs had thorough-putted.
And Laurent De Jong retakes lead of GTE.
Oh, I think I see why they thorough-putted. We failed to mention as they entered the pits, they hit the pit wall.
Oh, no. Oh, do I really want to replay? Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to see what happened here.
You have to see what happened here. Did not realize this. Oh.
Let's have a look.
Very nice section, those GT cars, that little chicane.
I mean, you're still on about, where they're coming up onto the embankment now, as we're just seeing Anastasius come into the pits. You're talking about this bank up here being exchanged for...
chicane.
Oh... Oh, no. Oh, no. They locked the brakes. And it just went straight on. Oh.
And that's all the damage in the world. And yeah, I don't think that was a thorough put. I think that was a rage quit.
Yeah, I think... Oh. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. And who came in behind him? None other than Jan Korbs. Was that Jan Korbs? Yeah, it was Jan Corbus. Came in right behind him, so he just missed this. And he saw death.
Now I have become Death, Destroyer of Worlds. That
14.
means...
Yeah, 14, with 14 minutes to go, there is literally 0 battles.
Wow. In fact, to the point that I'm looking, the top 3 in GTE have, the leader, has lapped everybody but the top 3. Wow.
What pace is he looking at right now?
Well, he was doing...
Well, he was doing fast laps, and then he came into the pits.
Yeah. He was doing 123s. So, everybody else was doing 125s, so... On a minute-long track, you can kind of guess how long that's going to take.
I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. What, my battles? Give us my battles! Bono!
Bono, my battles! My
battle's gone!
Oh dear. So yeah, the only other motorsport news for this weekend, but you know, I'm going to get a big groan from you when I say this, is NASCAR.
No.
On dirt.
Oh, well, okay. I mean, that's all right. I'll allow it.
But it's going to be interesting because only the trucks and the NASCAR Cup Series go there this week. No Xfinity cars, which means that some of the drivers in the Cup Series having to try and get their way into a truck to basically just get some idea of how to race the track, because, you know, number one, Bristol has not been turned into dirt since 2001. Or is it 2001 or 2010? I think it's 2010. And NASCAR hasn't had a dirt race in the Cup Series since 1970. The trucks have always gone to Eldora, so a lot of the truck drivers, the truck race will probably be better to watch than the Cup race. But there's 44 drivers that want to get into the truck race and only 40 spots, so they have to do heat racing. And because they've got enough drivers in the Cup Series, they're still doing heat racing because they're doing it to determine the grid.
Yeah, but as one Jordan Worth would say, you know, truck. We're going to do some truck.
So just have an idea. Don't have an idea. Just get this picture in your head. The heats are going to have points awarded to them. You get point for winning, point for so and all that. You get a point for overtaking cars. Right? It's a 5th lap race. So basically, the winners will get high up, but it all comes down to how many points you get in that heat race. Which to me just sounds really confusing, because
what happens if you overtake a person and then you like go down the order? Do you get points taken away?
Well, no, you get points based on where you finish, so you still get that point for overtaking.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what happens if you overtook and then you went down like to last because you
still get that point for overtaking, but you're not gonna lose that point.
Okay. So then, I found a loophole, if I may propose. Just go ahead and what you do is you if you're really fast, overtake everybody. Then, you know, have an accident in the pits, and then
probably the 15-lap race for heat. There is no pits. In fact, that's another thing about the dirt racing this weekend. It's going to be no green flag pit stops.
Oh, that's disgusting.
You tried trying to get into the pits on dirt.
Just eat it in.
Have you seen Bristol?
Yeah, it's tiny.
Oh, and also, remember the turtles they brought out for Daytona?
Yeah, the turtles which nobody liked and everybody hated, and they serve no purpose other than to give anxiety.
Say hello to the Dirtles.
You have got to be kidding me.
They have painted white boxes to encourage drivers not to run low. On the corners, they have put white boxes to encourage drivers to run high and not run under.
They might as well just... At this stage, they might as well just, you know...
There is some safety to it, because do remember, they don't have safer barriers. They do not have safer barriers this week. In order
yeah,
to
but I mean,
things,
like...
Yeah.
And if they wanted to, you know, just reduce the horsepower... Or just put a restrictor plate on the cars.
Oh my god. A restrictor plate. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about restrictor plates.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if the idea is that they don't want the cars like flying into space, because you know.
Yeah. So I mean, a Bristol lap can probably be 13 to 15 seconds, right? On dirt, they're looking at 17 seconds. Maybe 18, 19.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the main nature of the dirt is for slidey action, where you go, ha 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 ha, go slide.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, you can basically go full throttle.
That's according to iRacing, but I mean, how accurate is that?
I know, yeah. Hey, I don't know how to run dirt ovals, so what do I know? But
yeah, but I mean, I have run, you know, I have done rallies before. You know, I would have assumed the idea is that you have throttle management, you know, with the clutch and your throttle, and you're doing, and not just putting the boot in. I would have not put a NASCAR being able to do a 180 with a free slide at full throttle at all.
I can't wait.
According to NASCAR on iRacing, that's completely accurate.
Do you believe it?
No, not at all. It's the equivalent of saying the tire model is up to date and 100% accurate. I went there.
So apparently they're doing truck practice right now.
What do you mean truck
they
practice?
They have done truck practice. Well, because of the brand new track, they're also allowing them to do technically a brand new track. They're also allowed to have a practice session, like they used to do in the old days.
I mean, I would have given them a practice session if it, like, even if it's just dirt over a track, simply because, you know, it's, when was the last time dirt was ran on truck again?
2019, because trucks always go to Eldora. They did not go to Eldora last year. Trucks usually go to Eldora.
It's been a while, so give them a little bit of room, you know, a teeny tiny bit.
So,
like
I said, fastest time in practice was a 19.384. So that idea of 17 to 20 seconds, I was pretty right, you know. Some cars doing some really fast laps, you know. But like I said, there are 43 cars that took practice. Some of them spun, some of them had bad times. The slowest time was a 21.169. Now, 2 seconds off a lap already sounds bad, but when it's the fastest half a mile in America, even if it's dirt, to be 2 seconds off the pace on a dirt track is scary.
Yeah, there's some issue there. Yeah, I mean, simply because dirt requires, you know, it's not like it's like a normal tarmac where you're just trying to fight. You're trying to fight the car slipping upwards due to there's going to be trigonometry, but you know, when you're going around in an oval, you're actually fighting forces that are actually trying to push you up towards the wall, essentially. I mean, on tarmac, on a very very narrow track like Bristol is, that is quite difficult. It's not like Indianapolis where you just turn left and you just fall asleep halfway through.
But we're turning right now. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Normal indeed.
Well, we have a battle, Rob. We have a battle. Nope, no, I've cursed it.
No, you've done it now.
I looked at it. I looked at it for a second, and then basically there was Luigi Miotto versus Lucas Fair, and looks like Lucas is having some issues. Is that car crabbing?
Which one?
Lucas Fair.
No.
No. It just was really weird how the car was sliding. It looked like it was crabbing for a moment.
Maybe he just gunned it too much and.
Yeah,
he's taking his time regaining
but
traction.
I will say, looking at the practice results of Truck, there might be the first ever female winner of a top NASCAR series, because Hallie Deegan was third fastest, and if you took average laps, she was second fastest. So could have an interesting, it could be interesting to see that just for good publicity, of course. And also good to see it finally a bit of equality. Remember how they used to say the W Series was not good because it basically promoted women unable to get into F1?
What? I never heard that criticism before.
I wasn't that, but it was like I can't remember what it was. I think David Coulthard said something about how it just was like something like why I can't remember what it was, but it was like, why are we putting them in their own series? Why can't they get like a test drive for F1 or something? Like a top team. But the racing for the W Series has been fantastic. Don't get me wrong; it's probably been one of the better series out there in the last couple of years,
I think
outside of F2.
I mean, you're never truly going to get what's the word for it? Quality of outcome. You're never going to get like a 50-50.
No, I don't think people want a 50-50. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I mean, you want representation
the
within
50-50. Yeah.
I mean, no, the dream should be, if you have, it should be just. If you're a good driver, you're a good driver. I mean, I think it's just, because F1, for the longest time, had always been a gentleman's club.
Male-dominated sport, yeah.
A gentleman's club for the longest time. That kind of thing takes time to really sort of get going. And, once it happens, I think everybody would be like, ah, yeah, whatever. Just race. I want to see racing on my screen. I don't care who it is. Just want more racing on my Sunday on BBC. Or, well, I mean, BBC doesn't. Does the BBC still do F1 coverage?
They do the radio coverage.
But that's not TV coverage. Not
okay,
TV
fair
coverage.
Enough. Fine.
What?
Yeah.
Who does TV coverage? Is it just Sky now, isn't it?
Yeah, just Sky.
Ew.
Yeah, tell me about it. I think we're coming up to white flag. We are. Yankov's are about to take the white flag. Barney decided he'd like to stay at ovals for a little bit longer, so he stayed at Indianapolis, and he's waving that white flag for Yankov's. Quite interesting. Does this mean we may see the leader of the GTEs also, which is Mateus Raidillon? Will they get lapped this lap? Actually, yes, they will. By the way, the lap times, the differences. A GTE gets around this track in a 1:24. An LMP1 gets around it in a 1:11. That's quite a difference, if I do say so. Especially on such a small track. Never would have thought that.
It's not that big of a difference. If you think about it, in respect to other tracks, I mean, to be fair, other tracks it's actually quite a bit larger. Like Le Mans, for instance, this is like, if you're to take 1:11 from 1:24, it's about, what's it?
So almost a minute, isn't it? Yeah.
No, it's about 12% or 15% per lap.
About the same time it took you to say that as Jankos crosses the finish line and does a
Yeah.
lap. Jankos wins the race. Here comes Matthias. Here comes Matthias. De Jong will take P1 in the GTEs. We may also see Tony Garcia in a minute. No, he's halfway through the track. Coming to the infield stretch there to be out of turn 7. Just having the car 15 of Jon Nord going through him. So cars are slowly finishing their times. There was a couple incidents elsewhere. I think Kevin Lehman's went off. Yeah, he pitted. He was P8. He did lose that position after going off. He can lose a couple positions from that. Joe Almeida, I believe, will be the last car to cross the finish line overall. So I think, I think we can, with Tony Garcia crossing the line now.
He does.
I think we can call it. I know there are 3 cars left to cross the line, but I think we can call it.
I think we can. And, well, we'll just let the race results scroll on your screens as you do your best impersonation of an admin, and tell everybody about, to like and subscribe.
Wow, hi, Craig King here. I'm here to tell you about Raidillon TV.
Okay.
You know, it's the only...
Okay.
No.
Okay, no, let's not go down that route. You know what
Let's
I
not
mean.
go down the infomotion now. We apologise for the race. Remember, it is Sebring, so of course a broadcast, a series like this will probably take a back seat when it's a big event week. But thank you once again for watching us on Raidillon TV. If you do like what you see, hit the subscribe button. If you do like our talking about motor racing, we do it quite a lot during downtimes in between races. We'll get down to our schedule shortly, but yeah, hit that subscribe button if you do feel like it. That thumbs up, of course. Hit that bell when you get notified of when we're getting ready to schedule a event or a broadcast. Underneath the video, of course, a link to our Discord and trackcams22.com. Once again, providing us with these great cameras that we love so much, and I love seeing some of these aerial photos they come from. If you would like more from Raidillon TV, of course, we will be back hopefully Sunday night with the Huskenveld GT Challenge. I believe it's at Watkins Glen for week 2. And then, of course, it's the usual RSR week. Monday night, the RSR Super Trofeo Series comes down to the penultimate week in a final endurance race of the season. Wednesday night, the RSR World Series comes down to their final endurance race as they get to do Monza. We'll be back next week. I'm not entirely sure where we are next week. Someone will probably tell me for the...
I will tell you, actually. I think I remember where we are next week. Let me get it up here. Where is it? Where are you? Where's my notes?
I can tell you it's Daytona.
Oh, no. Why
You go
is
from
it
one
so-
roval to another.
Why back to back of all the things?
But I always say, Daytona and European Sprint Series, the match in
Hell.
heaven or hell. Yeah. It's chaotic when it comes to lap traffic. So if that's your if that's what you like to see.
I dislike it thoroughly.
Well, I like the chaos that Daytona always brings, and it did provide us one of the best races we've ever seen in the RSR World Series.
Okay, well, that was. To be fair, that was the one race where I did very thoroughly enjoy that. In fact, it was Daytona because it was very, very easy to see for the spectators to see exactly what was going on and everything like that. If it was a real race, however, to drive, it is a miserable little track, and that's not to say that to watch it. I mean, we've had some absolutely great races to commentate there, but the track itself, I hate it.
Well, we'll continue that fight. We'll probably continue that fight outside of the stream, outside this beautiful stream. We'll close it for the night there, of course. But once again, thank you for watching and listening to our talk through the ever challenging and quiet racing tonight. Until next time, I have been Craig King.
And I have been Robert O'Brien.
And this is Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.